A very warm welcome to Daily Dispatch powered by HSBC. I'm Priya Sheth, and joining me for this very interesting conversation is Ashutosh Valani from RENEE Cosmetics. Thank you very much, Ashutosh, for joining us today. I want to begin by asking you about the fundraise of $10 million that you've recently backed. Tell us a little bit about what the funds will be used for and what the fundraise really means for you.
Sure. Thank you for having me, first of all. Last year when we reignited the brand, we were at about 1 crore ARR. From there, quickly within the next 10 months, we have now scaled to about 60 crore ARR. So we have grown 60x within a time span of about 10 months. Now, while the scaling was happening, we saw a lot of acceptability towards our products, towards our innovation, and hence we thought that this is the time to scale. That is the reason that we raised our first round of $1.5 million back in October 2021. And we grew so fast that we were achieving yearly goals within a quarter. So that's when we thought that we would require more funds to then aggressively push the growth. Hence, that led to our Series A, wherein we raised almost a $10 million Series A round with investments from our previous investors as well as Mensa. So this money particularly has been taken to grow the product catalog because we see that there is a lot of gap in the market because the beauty segment in India is still nascent, is at least what we feel. We see that the growth from the offline stores will come, right? Because ultimately it's makeup. So it's all about touch, feel, how color really comes onto your skin. So a lot of it will also go into the growth of offline channels. And the third would be marketing, right? Because if you don't create a stronger brand, you can't really sustain. So I think these three are the main points why we have raised this Series A and how we are going to utilize it. We also want to give a part of these funds to product development, where we can bring more and more cleaner and greener products while we are also sustaining the price points. Because sometimes green is not always compared to the best price point product as well. So we are trying to work our way around it.
Right. Ashutosh, tell us a little bit about what kind of expansion are you bringing in the product catalog? You briefly mentioned that the funds will be used to increase the kind of presence out there. So what categories are you looking at entering into in 2022?
Sure. So last year, like you may know, that we actually became famous because of our product RENEE Fab 5 lipstick, where there were 5 different shades in one stick. After that, we had launched RENEE Fab Face, which had an eyeshadow, a blush, and a lipstick in one stick again. Just today, it's a lucky day for us because we just launched our first black lipstick, which gives a pink payoff. So it's a black lipstick, which is called RENEE Madness. So these are the kind of products and innovations that we plan to keep on bringing and giving to the consumers, where it is not just about the basic necessity, but how can we bring convenience and how can we bring set of innovation and that surprise factor into a product, which also makes it fun to use.
Right. As we speak at this point in time, Ashutosh, the cosmetics market is very crowded. We've seen Nykaa go for an IPO. We're seeing so many other D2C players also enter into the market. How do you think the whole dynamics is shaping up? Because at the end of the day, there is one consumer that you're catering to, right?
Right. So I think it's the e-com era. India is a big consumer market, and online has just broken through. We are still not there yet, right? So when you compare the Indian markets to any of the international markets, we are a very small part of it is still online. So it's we may feel that is the only or the same consumer that we are offering to, but along with that, there is an increase in the consumer base which is also happening. So we feel that we have just started, and I think we have a long way to go.
Right. Tell us a little bit about what kind of growth targets that you set for yourself in terms of any metrics that you can share with us.
Sure, absolutely. So our plan to achieve this March, so March 2022, was an average run rate of 50 crores, but we have already reached that and some more last month. So our plan to reach by end of this year, which is December, we are looking to reach at 150 crore ARR. So we are looking to grow 3-folds plus, within the next 10 months.
Right. In terms of fundraise, I also want to understand, what is the further requirement, because, this kind of aggressive growth will require also more capacity expansion, and, investing into different channels of distribution as well. So is there plans to raise more funds going forward? What is the strategy out there?
So we have always looked upon this as a business, where at the core it may be a startup, but we always wanted to build a very sustainable and a very hygienic business when it comes to numbers. So while we are growing and while we are burning, we are not burning as much. The burn only comes from certain factors like branding or certain factors like a bigger activity. But overall, as a brand economics, we are positive EBITDA. So we are not really looking to raise money and just burn money. We are looking to raise meaningful money, give an exponential growth along with sustainability, and then if needed and if we think that there is room for more growth to push the paddle, we may go and raise more money.
Okay, tell us a little bit about, going forward, what kind of overall strategy do you have in terms of acquisitions, any M&A activity, any plans out there?
Sure. I think it's too early in the journey to comment on that. But absolutely, we always feel that there is room for growth, not only within the brand, but also creating partnerships around the brand, exploring more and more categories as you grow. That may be growth of category from the same brand, or acquiring or creating another brand into a separate category. So that may be on the books, but right now I think RENEE is our core focus, and we would like to grow the category because there is long way to go. Like I said, we have still not launched face category, we have still not launched the full-fledged eye category, we are yet to launch professional category. So there is so much more to explore, that by the time we reach a certain scale, I think we would have broken the shackles of that 150 to 200 CR ARR, and that's when we probably will think about whether we are looking into acquisitions, whether we are looking to grow in separate categories.
A final question before I let you go in terms of offline expansion. While I know that online is the big channel of distribution, are you looking at a larger, offline presence as well?
Absolutely. So in India, what we have identified have 5,000 beauty stores, which are BA led, which are beauty advisor led. Out of which about 1,500 stores are the ones that give 80% of the business to most of the brands. And I think we are eyeing to be present in all of those stores. You don't want to be a brand which is only present offline, and when that consumer goes offline to try and you're not present, they end up buying something else. So we want to be present. We want to make sure that the consumers try, test our products, and out of mind, out of sight kind of situation. Sorry, out of sight, out of mind. So we don't want to be in that situation. We want to make sure that wherever our consumer goes, we follow.
All right, Ashutosh, on that note, thank you very much for joining us today. It's really been a pleasure speaking with you, and we wish you all the very best in your journey ahead.